I'm starting medical school in July, and I need to say something before I walk through these doors. Because once I'm inside the system, it will be way harder for me to speak about this, honestly. Medical training is toxic. That is just the truth of it. Not just for neurotypical people, even though it is toxic for them, but especially for people with ADHD. And nobody says this. Nobody talks about it because of how stigmatized it is to talk about it. Nobody in med schools sits down or sits you down and says, this system wasn't designed for your brain. Here is how to survive it. No, they hand you a schedule and tell you to just adapt. This video is about what I would wish they would tell me and why I'll need to remind myself every day starting in July. Today we're going to diagnose and then we're gonna write a prescription like usual. So let's start with a diagnosis to know how to treat our diagnosis, I don't know. So let's talk about the numbers first. Before COVID, 42 to 50% of medical students experienced burnout. Not they were tired. We're talking about clinical burnout. And recent studies say that the number is more closer to 60%. That means if you walk into a lecture hall with 100 med students, 50 of them are probably going to be clinically burnt out. And that's just the average. There's a lot of reporting bias. But let me explain why. Medical training builds toxicity in 3 ways. First, inhumane hours. 80-hour weeks are acceptable. 24-hour call shifts. Then they say get rest. But rest alone in a call room, in a hospital, is not rest. That's just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Second, the culture of suffering. You suffered, we suffered more. Is literally the culture. That's the logic behind the training. Every generation suffers and passes down the same trauma instead of breaking the cycle. Third, loss of control. You don't choose your schedule. You don't choose your hours. You don't even choose when to eat. And you are trained mostly to obey those above you without questioning. Now, take all of that and add ADHD. For an ADHD brain, loss of control isn't just annoying, it's literally devastating. Our brains need agency more than anything. They need to choose. They need to feel that what they're doing has meaning. Without that, they shut down. Long hours without structure, for a neurotypical brain, that's just exhaustion. For an ADHD brain, that's total depletion because our brains burns extra energy just to stay on track. Every additional hour isn't just plus 1 hour, it's plus 3 for the ADHD brain. The push harder culture, that tells the ADHD brain to do the one thing that kills it, and that is it's to ignore body signals. Our brains already know. Our brains already do not hear fatigue signals naturally. Now you're telling it to ignore them on purpose? If you're a med student or a pre-med with ADHD, let me say something directly to you. You are not weak because you're tired. You are working 5 times the effort anyone can see, and that's real, literally scientifically. So be kind to yourself. Anyways, let's go back to the video. And now let's write a prescription. This isn't a prescription to change the system because I unfortunately cannot. I am just a student that is gonna start med school in July. I do not think I have the power to do that. I would if I could, but I cannot. So we're gonna write a prescription to keep yourself alive inside of it. First, keep one agency. No matter how rigid the schedule is, keep one thing you choose. What you eat, for example. When you call your family. Which app you study from. Something small but yours. Because without any agency, the ADHD brain literally drowns. Second, illegal rest isn't luxury. It's literally a survival protocol. In med school, you'll try to justify it. Everyone else is working. How can I rest? But remember, your cup starts empty every day, and every extra hour pulls more than it gives. Intentional rest isn't laziness. It's the fuel. Third, find your ADHD people. You won't find them in the lecture hall because you kinda never go to lectures, but they exist. Online communities, study groups, even a channel like this. You're a community. Don't try to survive alone. We do better when we live together. Remember, survival is not for the fittest, it's for the well-adapted and also the communities, I think. Yeah, somebody that has a degree is like, I think. You realize how much you don't know after you get the degree. I'm like, I don't know anything. Anyway, fourth, take the ADHD stack with you. Energy modes, time containers, destimulation, everything you've learned here. Bring it. Because when everything starts spinning, you need a system that bends instead of breaks. I started in July, and honestly, I'm scared. To be honest, I am scared. Not of the material itself, of the system, of the culture, of the possibility that I'm gonna lose myself trying to be a perfect doctor instead of a human working with the different brain. But that's why this channel exists. I want to document everything. What works, what doesn't, when I fail, my everyday life, when I succeed. Starting in July, I'm going to test every single one of these prescriptions in real time, and I'll document what works and what doesn't right here. If you're on a similar journey, subscribe to this channel. Also, leaving moon emoji in the comments. I want to see who's coming with me. And the truth is, some days I won't be able to follow any of these prescriptions. Some days I'll just be in my room and I'll feel like a ghost, like I'm not here. And the pressure will say, get up. And my brain will say, I cannot. And that's the moment that defines who you are. Do we blame ourselves? Or do we remember that we're running on a different system? I feel like a ghost in my own room sometimes. It weighs on me that I'm fully responsible for my choices. But responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. Responsibility means I choose how to treat myself and how to treat my brain. And that starts with kindness. I fail all the time. It's a struggle, but I'm choosing to start med school with an awareness, not with perfection. I'll walk through those doors in July, knowing the system wasn't designed for me. But I also know I have tools. They might not be perfect, but I do have them. And I also have you guys. And that's enough. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. I'm going to be starting my medical school journey this July, and I'm taking you with me. Please share the video, like it, and if you really enjoyed this video, you can watch my last video on all the things I've learned while studying at Berkeley and all the tools I've used. So if you want to watch that video, it's going to be linked up there, I think. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time. Bye bye.